Shalom is your first foremost. I do give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Kakadash, the the apostles, and those great millstone for teaching us true peace and blessings to the hope of Israel. Yahweh is the name of the Unfather and Chibu Ba'Shem's name, and Yahushua is the name of the begotten Son. Back on the lesson, and today gonna be going to Leviathan, or AKA Godzilla, which is a good depiction, an example of what Leviathan would look like. Because where do you think they got the inspiration from, to create that type of creature in the first place? From the scriptures, from the Bible. But, I came across a video right here, which is an animation. And I thought I'd make a lesson, going to Leviathan. I haven't went into it in a good while, but that's also another thing you're going to see once going to come into these last days is Leviathan. Just how you have within these, certain types of movies, I forgot the exact title of the specific movie, but everything's called like the Clash of the Titans, or something to that effect. But in that movie, there's a specific scene where you pretty much have the person pretty much playing the Most High. He says release the Kraken, but in this case, the Lord is going to release Leviathan, man, and he's going to wreak havoc upon this place, man. Especially you devils, man, which we're also in the description. You're going to that later on, but I do play it real quick. It's like a little bit of a minute, animation, and then we get the scriptures, and the Lord's lesson me to find what's skin. So let's dive into it. The Lord's also, paint an image, or give an example of, what's to come. But hey, there you go. Like I will make a quick lesson, going into that. Because right there's an example, of what's to come. And I was going to, depict in, go into, what Leviathan, looks like. Which once again, Godzilla is a perfect example, which we'll pull up real quick. Of what he would look like, or the closest thing to it. I'm trying to get a more higher quality image. There we go. So just an example, because you get in the scripture, it also goes into that fiery breath, and within these Godzilla movies, you see they call it an atomic breath. So where do you think they got the inspiration from, man? And also Godzilla -1, if you've not seen that, definitely recommend checking that out. A good example of what's to come, because in that movie, you see two different forms where you have the ones in the U.S. where they make Godzilla out to be somewhat of a good guy, but within this movie, he's tearing things up right here, man. And that's what he's, getting ready to do. And that's Job chapter 41, through 34. Now it's directed as a canst thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Canst thou put an hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Will he make any supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee without take him for a servant forever? So it's going to show he's not no regular, creature, man. As we read in the first verse, can you draw him out with a hook? No. Verse 5 says, wilt thou play with him as with a bird, or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Verse 6, shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thine hand upon him, remember the battle, do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? You're going to have people having heart attacks at the sight of him, man. People are going to be bugging out. Because you see movies like this, like, Godzilla and these other, certain types of movies, people think that it's not, even a reality or a possibility of it, actually taking place in real life. Well, you're going to see, even dealing with the chariots. Because, people will see sci-fi movies and, think it's not possible, or nothing like that is even real. Well, that's why you see, people bugging out and freaking out seeing these things, man. And why you're going to have people having heart attacks. And especially when Lord Yahushua returns upon that fathership, man. It's going to block out the sky. It's going to show how massive it's going to be. But as we're tying this point right here, people are going to be, having heart attacks, dying at the sight of him, man. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? This is why you get in Isaiah 33:6, how wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. It's going to show the importance of having this truth, this knowledge, this understanding. Because we know what's going on, what's getting ready to go down. We know what to expect. Because we have the script, to this movie. And of course, we don't have exactly everything, the intricacies of how everything's going to play out, but we have the script. We have the spoilers to this movie. But can you want to none is so fierce that dare stir him up? Who then is able to stand before me? And you can also get your articles going to how much percentage of the ocean has been explored. And I believe not even over 5% of it has been explored. Because really these devils know something is down there. Let's see, even other types of creatures that you may not even know about. As who hath prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Verse 13, so who can discover the face of his garment? Who can come to him with a double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. As they are joined one to another, they stick together that they cannot be sundered. Because you also see, examples, within these Godzilla-like movies where you have guns being shot at him, missiles, and nothing's penetrating him. Now let's see. So it's also going to show you devils will stand no chance. The Lord has covered all routes of escape. You'll be the sea, land, and air. You ain't running. They have that saying, you can't run, or you can run, but you can't hide. But in this case, you can't run, and you can't hide. Now it says, verse 18, that says, by his kneesings a light doeth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Out of his nostrils goes smoke as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindles coals, and a flame goes out of his mouth. And what regular creature can emit, shoot fire from its mouth? So come on. And once you go back to the example you see within these Godzilla movies, he has, something like a fiery breath. But in the movies they call it, an atomic breath. So like about that point earlier, where do you think they got the inspiration from, to create this creature? Now let's see. In his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned to joy before him. The flakes of his flesh are joined together; they are firm in themselves; they cannot be moved. His heart is firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of another millstone. When he raises up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings, they purify themselves. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold the spear, the dart, nor the habergeon. He esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. So going to show, you those are going to stand no chance, man. Your weaponry, your missiles, they ain't going to work. But he esteemeth iron as straw. You know how flimsy straw is? And now imagine that steel, man. And brass as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. Darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. What's the modern day darts or arrows? Dealing with the weaponry of today. What's in these missiles, the guns that they have. And that you're gonna work. And you see he's laughing. Let's get this one more time. Where is it at? Verse 29, Slack, I was trying to find this. The darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. And you can even find a clip within one of these Godzilla movies where he's laughing. See if it plays. Look at that. I mean, come on. All right, we got a little more of Job. That says, sharp stones are under him. He spreads the sharp pointed things upon the mire. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot, and maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. Once another example you see within these movies. When Godzilla is pretty much being introduced into the movie, you see the sea boiling. As is upon the earth, there is not like who is made without fear. He beholdeth all things. He is king over all the children of pride. This is Psalms 104 and 26. And as there go the ships, there is that Leviathan whom thou hast made to play therein. And just how you have, even that young children, or you as a kid, had taking a bath. You had a rubber duck toy, or little boats. That's that. It's a Leviathan. As we just also played within that little animation, where pretty much Leviathan in that animation took down those ships, like nothing. As there go the ships, there that Leviathan whom thou hast made to play therein. We're seeing nothing but toys to him, especially these battleships that Esau has. Ain't nothing. As Amos 9:3, and though they hide themselves on top of Carmel, so it's going back to the point I brought up earlier, how he's going to come out in these last days, and the Lord's going to be the one to unleash him, sick him on, to these devils, to wreak havoc upon this place, man. We're seeing how you have that example. Release the crack knight, the Lord's going to release the Leviathan, man. And though they hide themselves on top of Carmel, I'll search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. And as I brought that point earlier, the Lord has covered all routes of escape via sea, via air, via land. You ain't running. You also have these devils, have these super, luxury, submarines to be able to go to hide out from nuclear destruction. And because you get in the scriptures how they're going to try to flee away from the judgment, as we're reading right here already. They're going to try to flee into these mountains, these caves or bunkers, these space stations, but you won't be able to run. You won't be able to hide. Okay, see, Lord, and sick Leviathan, onto him, especially in the sea. And also, you're going to have the chariots, the angels of the Lord. That's why you also get in Revelations, 12, 7 through 8. Going to that war in heaven that's getting ready to take place. In the sky, space. As was the Lord's ground troops, Once the Lord lifts that stand, bestows power upon the Lord's elect, which you can get in Jeremiah 16 and 16 also. Now let's get these last two scriptures. This is Genesis 1 and 21. It's also another good point. Now it says, and the powers created great whales, and every living creature that moves, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And the power saw that it was good. But the main point I wanted is going to those great whales. So yeah, it's talking about, literal whales. But we're going to get an example in the, going to the etymology of it. So let's see. There we go. Now let's jump down to whales to show what it's talking about, because it's not speaking of only whales. This is Tanin or Tanin.
Strong's H8577. Tanim.
Tanin. But it says intensive from the same as 8565. It's a marine or land monster, sea serpent or jackal, dragon, sea monster. Are whales land monsters? Tell me what whale is able to go on land and be labeled a land monster, or even going on land in general. Other than them beaching themselves at certain times. Was intended from the same as which I read, but say a marine or land monster. I just wanted to get that point, where it's not only speaking of whales within what we just read. Sea serpent, jackal, dragon. And what are dragons known to do? To spit out fire. And we just read it in Job 41. They're going to the depiction of Leviathan. Now he's able to shoot a fiery breath. Sea monster. So once again, just wanted to get that point. And there's other translations too. Let's see what the GNT has. Anything good. And it says, so the powers created the great sea monsters. So I'll see that right there. So we just wanted to go to show it's not only speaking of whales. Because you also have other creatures that are also down there in the sea. That Lord is keeping hiding away. But you see just how this devil operates and the way he does things too. Especially when new animals or new things are found, that they destroy it. But it Wisdom Psalm chapter 11 and 18. It says, or unknown wild beast full of rage, newly created, breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scents of scattered smoke, or shooting horrible sparkles out of their eyes. And what animal do you see that doing? You're doing this type of stuff today? None. Maybe one time we read in Job 41, going to Leviathan, and the things he's able to do. Shoot out a fiery breath. His impenetrable scales. And as about the point, he's doing these other unknown wild beasts, these creatures that you don't even know about. Because it also mentions this point right there, or filthy scents of scattered smoke. Because you'll see people will be in the woods or hiking, whatever the case may be, and they'll smell a strong stench. They kind of to ward them off. Because once the Lord's also wants to hide away, keeping creatures hidden. But it comes these last days, the Lord's gonna once again unleash Leviathan. Maybe also other types of creatures. Because they will come some times that have never been seen before, man. But that's the point right there. I don't want to drag it out. And the Lord will entice points against my ability, and you are edified. And I do close out and give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and Shalom. See you next one, Lord's will.